Hey y'all, so we got a nasty one today. About to do it. Gonna give you my thoughts. I'll give you an update after I do it. So we have just one time through for intensity and technique. We have 50 jumping lunges. You're just gonna alternate those as you go. So that's gonna be 25 on each leg. Then we have 50 pull-ups. We can scale the number down. We can use banded pull-ups. We'll talk more about that. We have 50 double dumbbell push presses, so holding a dumbbell or kettlebell in each arm, pressing it up overhead. 50 deadlifts, just holding the same dumbbells or kettlebells, one in each arm, deadlifting it down, and 50 burpees. So, man, I don't even know where to start here. 50 reps is a ton of reps. So a lot of people are just going to look at this. They're going to look at them like line items and think, oh, I've got one round of each of these things. This is going to be easy. This one's going to be nasty. So 50 jumping lunges, I think, is actually going to be the easiest part of this workout, which is probably pretty bad news because I think it's going to get rough pretty fast. I think the first 10 to 25 are going to feel completely fine, but I think those legs are really going to start burning. And this is going to be, I love the setup of this one because it's going to be burn the legs, burn the pulling motion of the arms. Now make your arms press where those muscles are fresher, but you have so much lactic acid built up in your arms. Now we're going back and having to hold those dumbbells, and I think that's going to be a surprising part. But then the legs come back to bite you, and then you're just trying to survive when the whole body just doesn't know what to think. So I think the most surprising part of this workout is going to be holding those dumbbells, and I think just trying to keep those shoulders nice and pinned back and into a good position it is going to be way trickier. So I think coming off of these, I think the arms are going to really be the hard part in the deadlifts, which is kind of funny to say because there's 50 deadlifts, and then having that burn moving into the burpees. So I'm really expecting that to be the toughest part of this, is just maintaining good solid shoulder position while stuff burns and hurts. So strategies for it, jumping lunges, I think you're just going to have to wing it. And I think some people will go unbroken. That's going to be my plan, but I'm not going to hold to that plan like my life depends on it. If I start feeling the lactic acid build up, so as soon as the rep starts feeling like it's hard in any way, I'm going to break, shake my legs out, give it some time, and I'm just going to chip away. I'm just going to try not to get too caught up in these first two things, knowing that there's just a lot of workout left. The pull-ups, I'm going to be a little conservative, and I feel like it's a trap. And if you come out hard on the first few sets of pull-ups, not only will it possibly be hard and you might hit that kind of burnout zone towards the upper end of the 50 here, but I think getting your arms blown up is going to have major negative impacts here and is really going to slow you down. So I think you need to come out with the pull-ups and be way more conservative than you probably think you should be. Some people potentially could go 50 unbroken, and unless you're kind of world-class games level, I don't recommend even remotely humoring that. My guess is sets of, probably 5 to 10 are going to be the way to go, and it's kind of just winging it. You're going to be out of breath here. You're going to already have acid kind of building up in your body. Blood will be down in the legs, and then it'll be kind of a weird feeling having it come up to your arms. So I'm kind of thinking here 5 to 10 sets is probably going to be the way to go here. The push presses, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, maybe 5 sets on the push presses. So 5 sets of 10. And what I'm assuming is going to happen is because the arms are going to have so much just stuff blown up in them, I think that overhead position and controlling the dumbbells is going to be kind of tricky in this one. So I think, again, you're going to want to come out a little conservative on these big sets and then survive them later on. Deadlifts, I'm going to try and go unbroken, and really I think it's just going to almost be like double unders where you just have to ignore how much your arms burn. And just know that that burn is going to carry over and it's going to make the burpees brutal. But those that holding and stabilizing and pulling the shoulder back muscles aren't that important. I hope I don't bite my words here in a little bit, but they're not that important from the pressing motion that we're going to need in the burpees. So I think it's going to make the burpees feel absolutely terrible, but I don't think burning those muscles out is going to be the worst call. Then when you get here, I think it's just 50 burpees takes a long time, and it's just about being steady, 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 steady. There's going to be a few moments where I'm going to try and pick the pace up, and I'll see what happens, but I'm probably just going to stay steady. So I think something I'll need to do is, I'm assuming that coming off of the deadlifts, the first few are going to feel pretty terrible. So I'm just going to try and keep myself moving 5 at a time in the beginning, just keep myself moving, and hopefully it starts to feel a little bit better as you go, and I'm going to see if I can pick the pace up. Who knows? I'm kind of expecting a 10 to 15 minute workout, so that's going to kind of be in my head as I'm pacing these first few things out. But the strategy is going to be conservative in the beginning of these 50s. You can always pick the pace up, and especially be conservative on these first few things here, because you don't want to blow stuff up too much and really slow down the big major parts of your workout. So I'll check back in with you once I'm done. Okay, y'all, so just finished up today's workout. Oh man, it was good. It's a lot like I expected, and I still get surprised by everything. So I was able to go unbroken on the lunges. About at 20 to 30, they started getting hard. So I was just kind of paying attention, trying to see how hard they got. But honestly, the legs, besides the end of the lunges, the legs were really never a part of this workout. So I recommend, don't attack it with your cardio, but attack it with your legs on the jumping lunges. So only break it up if your cardio really needs to. Then the push-up or the pull-ups. I broke these up more than I thought I was going to. I ended up doing sets of 7 most of the way through, and then my shoulder started to get a little twingy, so I started being way more careful. Wasn't really pushing my sets at all, and at the end I even started doing just the singles. So really, whenever I start feeling a twinge, I have my backup plan and then my escape route. My backup plan was to figure out how I can modify the exercise without doing any workarounds as bad technique. So what I ended up doing was the up and then dropping down, and that helped me start in a really good position every time. If that wasn't going to work, especially because it started hurting later on, I was just going to quit the push-up and move on. So remember, it's not about pushing through pain. Be very sensitive to your pain and modify as you need. If it gets to the point where you can't modify, move on, survive to fight another day. So I'm going to do a bunch of mobility now as part of my cool down, kind of work on that. Push presses, I was able to go 10s the whole time. First set, I thought 10 was too little, and already by the second set, I was like, oh, I'm glad I did 10 on that first set. So just chip away. I had to break it up into 5 sets. Deadlifts, I went unbroken. About rep 20, I felt terrible. I was like hanging on to the dumbbells with my hands. Was by far the hardest part, and I was really battling that, and my arms were really, really burning. And I just kept telling myself that, yeah, your arms are going to burn, and you do need arms on the burpees, but it's different muscles. So let them burn. It's kind of like double unders. Let them burn. Just go. It sucks, but you can do it. And then on the burpees, typically what happens in workouts like these, and today was no different, is the first like 5 to 10 are way worse. And they actually get better and better as you can pace it. And then I was able to actually come on strong towards the end of the 50 and actually finish strong. But probably the first 5, maybe the first 10. Oh my gosh, they were so terrible. So they can really mess with your head a ton coming off of those deadlifts and everything else. So just hang in there. I try and, in my head, I just get to 5, then I get to 10, then I get to 15. Once I'm at 25, instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm only halfway, I'm thinking 5 more to 30. And once I get to 30, I know I have 20 left. I know I can do it. So that's when I try to pick that pace up. Overall, it was fun. I'm sure it'll be on the video I'm putting up. I actually forget my time. I think it was like 12 something. So probably sticking with a 16, 18 minute time cap on this one. I think that's going to put a lot of people getting capped at the burpees, which is completely fine. Because really pushing the pace and just finishing strong on the burpees is the point of this one. And it's good. Last thing I'll say, for pull-ups, 50 is a ton. of pull-ups. So if you're someone who doesn't quite have 30 pull-ups in a row, you might want to consider dropping that number from 50 down to like 25 or 30 and doing your pull-ups and chipping away. So I think I did maybe 6 or 7. I probably did actually 7 or 8 sets. So you can kind of think of that the same way. Something that'll get you 7 to 8 sets of pull-ups in. And then if you're not, we can still scale these with banded pull-ups, ring rows, jumping pull-ups with the negatives, and just regular jumping pull-ups too. But remember, the first place we always like to go is to change the reps down before we change the movement if we can. Yeah, so hang in there. Have fun with this one. Touch y'all soon.